We are in a new episode of our one-to-one podcast with Aleksandra Stojaković Olenjuk. We are in Rijeka, in a very special, open, diverse, and interesting city, talking to a very special, interesting, diverse, and open artist. One of the few artists in Croatia who did her own one-to-one piece. For people who don't know you, so you are an artist, a performer, director, or the author, and what else?
When I introduce myself, I always say that I'm an actress. That is how I paying my bills with acting. I'm also a mother, and I have all kind of different roles, but maybe you said the most important ones.
Yes, and in few days you also in Rijeka you also have the performance that you directed. It's called the Soft Skills.
Well, through all of my work, I'm always interested in that position of making art, like of terms in which we are doing something, or so. In soft skills and also in Pick&Play, that is the name of that one-to-one performance that I did in 2016. I try to have some kind of communication and connection with scene and platform in which I was doing that piece. So the communication between me and audience is something that is now permanent sphere of interest in art also, yes.
Since the one-to-one form in these parts of Europe is not a common way of expressing art, expressing theater, how come that it came to you to make such a formative or form?
Yeah, that came to me as some kind of intimate need for communication with audience, because as an actress, I'm always in theater used in some way where I don't have my voice to communicate directly with audience, and that is a paradox because I'm on the stage and I'm doing everything, but mainly I am just an object in other people's ideas. You are in that position where you have to do things, that is the hierarchy of your job, and that is your job. That is also in contract, so it's not something that, oh my God, somebody gave me something that I didn't want it. But my artistic person was really in a shade. I didn't have my own place where I can explore, when I can do things that making me grow, and that's why I decided to work on my own, because there is that position when you work in theater, you have to wait that somebody picks you up for something. And then if someone picks you, then you are great. So that was also, I realized in one moment, oh my God, now I could wait all my life to be picked. So, and I'm not sure if someone picks me up if I'm going to be satisfied. So what I'm waiting. I don't like that picking part.
Okay. So you did a show called Pick and Play.
I wanted to build that area where I could build something without that part of business.
The responsibility is yours to pick what
Yes,
you would love to communicate to the audience,
yes.
and you picked yourself.
And then I realized that also audience is not in that position where they can choose what they want to see. It's always also passive position where we are giving them something what we think that they need.
Okay.
So when I was thinking about Pick and Play, I wanted to share that responsibility between me as an actress or artist and audience. That's why in first part of Pick and Play, they can choose what they want to see from me. So Pick and Play has 7 different parts.
Okay.
And the first part is where they came to me. I introduce myself. I say what are my expectations from them, and then I give them a menu, or I explain them the setup, and they can choose between 7 different parts. And those parts are devised between some very simple questions about theater and my ideas why people actually go to theater. So someone said because I want to hear something new, or I want to see some classic, or I want to see something playful, or I just go to theater to rest. That was how did I devise my parts. In the first part, they can choose if they want to see a tragedy, or if they want to see Nina from Chekhov. So that is like classic. So, or if they want also device theater. So we had that walking through the city. Then they can choose to rest. I had a bed where they could sleep.
Okay.
So I'm really proud because 2 of my audience, they slept there.
Okay.
With me. So that was like, wow. Then we played also Picado.
Okay. Darts.
On the, how we had some interesting part where we, it was like full documentary story about history of Rijeka.
Okay.
If they want some kind of documentary story. So we went on the building of the highest building on the Corso. Corso is the main street in Rijeka. And there on the top of that building, we were drinking champagne.
So in a way, it's a customization of theater. It's like a client comes to a phone company and then you ask them what do you talk more on phone or mobile phone, or you use internet, or and then they choose. And according
Yeah.
to that, you sell the product.
Yes, and yes. But also they had that, yeah, we can say that like that, but they had that they said that the most difficult part was to choose. They said that to me because in the beginning, I was introducing them with the setup, and then I left them for 10 minutes. I said, okay, now I'm going to leave, and you have this billboard, and you have to
Cross
cross the thing that you want to see.
Okay.
And then they were like, oh my God.
Okay, so that was a difficulty in
That was the most difficult thing for them. And every part was half an hour long. So in the day, I had 3 of them or 4 of them because it's really intense. It's to be in that kind of performance. I couldn't do it more because it was really, really like hardcore.
It was
for me.
hardcore because of
The intensivity of connection with audience, it's much more higher than in classical.
okay.
mm,
So in a classical setup and the classical.
yeah, on the stage. You don't leave that connection in any second.
So in one-to-one art, the connection with every person who comes is different, and according to this person, you also have to change and go with the flow of energy of that person. So if
Of course.
in a normal setup of theater, you see a person in the audience who is not interested in what is he watching, and you just don't care.
Yes.
And
Yes.
here,
Well, maybe you care. Maybe you care, but you don't have a control of everyone in the audience. You know, I can see everyone in the audience. It's like 80 people, and
yeah.
two of them are bored, one of them is sleepy, somebody has a headache, and you cannot like make them to hear you or to connect with you. And when you're one-to-one, it's nothing is happening if you are not together in that
If you're not,
process. So I really needed that play in that period. I really love that intensity or intensivity. It was like for me, it was like, I'm still here. The connection is still real.
so it's about intensivity or intensity. It's about connection. It's about following the impulses of the audience, not the colleague or the actor that you are on the stage.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me that was the real. It's and that's why it's on the border of performance and theater
And real life, maybe.
and real life also. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
So if I
Yeah.
picked the part that ends up on the Rijeka's big skyscraper,
Mhm.
how would that look like? What would we
Mm,
do?
In the beginning, you would come to me. I was in office, not in the theater. That was my choice, not to
Okay,
be in the theater,
okay,
but to be in office because we are making some kind of agreement between us. We had a contract, what will gonna happen. And then you would come to me, I would say, I'm Aleksandra. You would already know that, but I would say that again. And I would tell you, I would like, I would make a picture of you.
okay.
And then I would make a picture of me. And then I would say that in me is a little hole. And when we are together, and I would draw a little circle from me to you and from to you to me again. And then I would say that hole is a little bit smaller after this finish.
Wow.
And then after that, I would say, okay, now you have to go on the board and you pick what you want to do with what you want from me to do for you. And then I would say, okay, so you have this Chekhov. In that part, you will be Trepljov, I will be Nina. In this part, you have tragedy. I will be Clytemnestra, and you will be the core. In this part, you can rest. You can sleep if you want to, but you can rest. And in this part, I can read something to you, or we can make a walk through the city if you want that, or we can go on the skyscraper. And then you would say, oh, I want to go to the skyscraper. Okay. And then I would be telling you this story about one lady that I met. And we would be on the Corso, and we would be just looking at a skyscraper, and I would be telling you a story how my brother forgot keys from his apartment, and his apartment is in that building, and he asked me to pick that keys, and then I came in some different, and I went there in the middle of the night, and then I met some strange lady who was telling me how she met Garibaldi, and Garibaldi was a friend of Al Capone. That is the truth.
Yeah.
And Garibaldi was the mayor of Rijeka, and he built that. He built that building, that big skyscraper. And she was telling me her love story with Garibaldi, and that on the end she gave me little champagne, and then I said that tomorrow when I woke up, I was thinking to myself, "Oh my God, who is that lady?" And I came back, but no one was there. And then we went on the skyscraper in the building, and in the end, I would take the champagne from my bag, and then we were drinking that champagne on the top of the building, and that would be very nice.
And coming to the top of the building and drinking champagne, we are slowly coming to an end of this conversation. I am very glad and inspired by the things that you mentioned and talked about. And thank you very much, Aleksandra.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to think and to explore also ideas about art. So thank you, and thank Tunya to everything what are you doing. So thank you.
Great.